those of you who like the spicy stuff, there's Grub Burger Bar. They have the Ghost Burger because that's the ghost chili, which is that pepper, which really, really sneaks up on you. You know when you have a pepper and your nose starts to run and your eyes starts to run. You know, I mean, like, so they have that there. That's also at a great gastropub in Lawrenceville called Local Republic. This is a restaurant that I really, really love because they do quality food. Lawrenceville is a really cool dining destination, and they do a Patrick Swayze burger with the ghost pepper. You get it? Ghost.
Got it.
Made out of clay.
Got it. Lawrenceville is a really hot restaurant area?
Yes,
yeah.
Downtown Lawrenceville is super cool. There are a lot of good spots there. It's got a, you know, a funky, like, you know, town vibe like Marietta Square. Yeah. It's really an underdog, and, you know, it's the courthouse. I don't know if you've watched The People versus Larry Flint, and he got shot at that courthouse, so it's really known for that. I don't know how excited Lawrenceville is to have this, like, ooh, Larry, but he was a real champion for free press and free speech.
A bunch of squares out there. There's a nudie magazine killers of.
Yes, but it is free press, which we are all fighting for, to say things like the Muff Burger or the Fat Ass Muff Challenge on the first show.
We have to ask people to call us one day with, like, the lamest thing that your little town is known for.
I love that.
Like the lamest bragging right. That's got to be right up there.
I actually think it's pretty cool. If you The People versus Larry Flint, it's with Woody Harrelson plays them. I mean, it's a pretty cool movie. The Parma Tavern does this thing with donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts, and a burger, and also Cypress Street does the donut burger as well with Sublime donuts. I mean, what do you guys think about a burger in between two donuts? It's not for me, but people really go nuts over this.
It's kind of like chicken and waffles, though, you know what I mean? At first glance, you're like, oh, too much sweet, too much savory doesn't work, and then you have it together, and you're like, oh, this is good.
I'm so glad Brian brought up chicken and waffles. Here's my curmudgeon moment of the day.
Okay.
Chicken and waffles have jumped the shark. They're over. Every restaurant has to have them now. I'm so tired of it. It's just like, I love the dish, don't get me wrong, but why restaurants? Why do you feel you have to have that? Maybe do French toast and waffles. Maybe do pancakes and waffles.
It's an Atlanta thing. It's tradition. They're just trying to be good Southerners.
It's just, I know it probably sells a lot because people are like, oh my God, chicken and waffles, wow. But I think it is the most overrated dish because I think it's like you have 2 bites and you're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't think
I've never tried it. All these years I've been here in the South, in Atlanta, never tried it.
Oh my
Really?
God.
No, it's great.
I don't even know how I know you. One-Eared Stag, which is one of my favorite restaurants in Inman Park, they do a chef's breakfast. So for Sunday brunch, they do all the chef's specialties on a big silver platter, and then there's a giant Schlitz in the middle of it.
Cool.
Okay, so that's a cool thing. There's the dinosaur beef rib at Twin Smokers Barbecue, which is an underrated barbecue spot downtown. It's like a giant, like, from the Flintstones. The Flintstones used to be a cartoon back in the day. I have to update the
They
audience.
remade it as a movie a couple times, so I think
That's right. And finally, I want to mention the desserts, the Taqueria Fried Elvis Sundae, which is peanut butter ice cream, bananas, and a cinnamon tortilla. And I don't know if you've got that look on your face. I don't know if you've had.
I knew you were going to lose me this week.
I don't know if you've had. This may be up your alley. Have you been to the Steakhouse Marcel? Over on the west side?
No.
They do a baked Alaska there, which is really a very cool presentation. Like, if you want to go out on a date and you want to be a high roller, you want to impress your date and have a sexy night, you get that steak or whatever, but you get that baked Alaska because it, like, flames up at your table and it's dark in there, and that's my favorite thing to get there.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So watch Atlanta Eat Saturdays and Sundays on Peachtree TV. Follow me at Mara Davis, Mara Davis 2000 on Instagram. I will always respond to your inquiries about where to eat around Atlanta. The best thing you can do is when you go somewhere, get back to me and tell me where you went, because I love attention.
I love it. All of our info online at thebirdshow.com. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, you guys.
Q100. The Burt Show with Burt.
So many times I've tinkled on myself.
Kristen.
I don't work in logic. I work in emotion.
And Brian.
I only care about women on Wednesday afternoon.
You're listening to The Burt Show.
Is post-wedding depression a real thing? I'm going to get into that here in just 1 second. Brian and I were
Police
having a
reported
side
ahead.
conversation about the first time you realize that your father or your mother, they're just getting older. For me, I remember it like my dad just became that guy that when he was in the car, passenger in the car, he would rattle off the prices of gas every single time we'd go by a gas station. We'd go like this. We'd just be cruising down the road. $1.98. Look at that. Huh. Then we go a quarter mile down the road. Oh, $2.01. Look at that.
Yeah, there's just no opinion on it. Just throwing that out there.
Dude, you are so old. And then watching the Weather Channel over and over and over again, like obsessed with the Weather Channel, which to me is old people's MTV.
I had one with my dad yesterday. It made me irrationally annoyed, and I admit that I was annoyed just because of I noticed my dad just gives me too many details. Like, I don't need all the details.
Hey, we got a studio director like that. I remember the day our studio director got old.
So I was helping him book airfare for a conference, a labor conference for prison reentry that he's going to speak at, some big conference in Waco, Texas, right? And I'm booking this airfare from Seattle to Waco, and I got my computer open. I've got like a ticket search app or a program up, and I'm going to look up who's got the cheapest airfare, and then I'm going to do a little shopping. And I'm like, okay, Dad, what dates? And he goes, well, hold on a second. I'm like, well, you need to go to Waco. What dates? He goes, hey, that's a little more complicated than that. I was like, what, do you got other places to go? And he's like, no, you can't just go flying into Waco.
You can't?
You meant direct from Seattle. You can't just go flying in direct to Waco from Seattle. There's you gotta have a layover in Dallas first. I'm like, yeah, probably. Okay, cool. What date are you flying to Waco? And what date do you want to go back? And he's like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna write it down for you. Like, write down all because you can't just go flying into Waco. And I was like, Dad, I don't need to know that information, because you know who does that for you? The airline. The airline decides where you go and what time you go to. And he's like, well, I'm just gonna write. And then so I'm sitting there, I've got the program open. I'm just getting more annoyed by the second, because I'm like, okay, anytime now. Just need a date. Got the cities inputted. Just need a date. A leave date and a return date. That's all I need. And I can hear him like scribbling. I'm like, what are you doing? Goodwill Hunting? Are you solving a math equation on that note card? And it's like a paragraph of writing. And finally, I'm like, Pat and I gotta go run an errand. He goes, okay, I got it done. I come back. He's written out like the date, the time he wants, the time you land in Dallas, the time he'd like to leave Dallas to go to Waco. And I'm like, you understand, the computer does this work for you. And he's like, well, I just want to make sure. I'm like, there's too many details. When did you get old?
I remember my mom hiring some guy up in New York City to fix her computer, and everything's expensive up there, right? She couldn't there was nothing on her screen. She was trying everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she hires a guy, costs her like $450 an hour to bring this guy in. He comes in, he just turns the power on the monitor.
Oh, bless.
Bless. Mom. All right, so you can understand weddings are intoxicating, right? All the attention on you, plus you got all the planning going on, and then once you ride off into the sunset, it's over. It's over. And there are some women that legitimately are like, I don't know what to do with myself.
You're no longer a bride.
You're no longer a bride.
Your wife.
So we got an email for Kristen specifically, because Kristen just went through the wedding, and I think our virtual listener was like, did you go through the same thing here? Because she's feeling pretty bummed out, right?
Yeah, she's suffering from wedding depression, and this is what she wrote. Hi, Kristen. I'm a huge Berkshire fan. You are so transparent and funny, but aren't afraid to talk about the tough things life throws at you, and that is why I'm contacting you. I got married a week after you did, so I was basically on the same path of wedding planning you were. I identified with you on basically everything you talked about on the show because I was going through it too. There's just one thing I feel needs to be talked about that I'm dealing with. Everyone talks about the wedding planning process and the hardships that come along with it. I actually had a pretty smooth process, besides a crazy sister-in-law. I fully threw myself in it, did everything myself, from making the bouquets down to making the program fans by hand. I didn't start feeling stressed until about a week before, and that was probably mostly nerves. Day of the wedding went well. Only a few things went wrong. Super calm the whole time, though. I was fine rolling with the punches, enjoyed the day. I mean, how could I be upset about anything when I was marrying the love of my life? The thing that took me off guard, and something I was completely unprepared for because no one ever talks about it, is the depression that set in as soon as the wedding was over. I don't mean feeling sad that the wedding is over. I mean deep depression, not wanting to do anything, crying anytime someone brought up my wedding and just randomly for no reason, wishing I could do it all over again, feeling like it wasn't good enough, having an overwhelming feeling of disappointment towards the wedding day, but no good reason for it. Nothing about the day was bad. In fact, it was exactly how I planned it. I cannot come up with a solid reason of why I am feeling the way I am. Turns out, it's pretty common. I did some research and people are calling it post-wedding blues. I don't really like that title because I don't feel like it takes it serious enough. Since it's been almost 3 weeks and I am not feeling better, I'm going to be seeking professional help. Apparently, it comes from putting so much energy and time into one day for so long that it goes by in a blink of an eye, and you are left feeling like you barely saw any of it, as well as a feeling of what's next. The reason I'm contacting you is because I don't feel like this is talked about enough. If I was prepared that this could happen, I would have been a lot better off. I work in mental health, so I know how to preserve my mental health, but I cannot do that without being aware. That is where you